Waka's live. Everybody's just live. Waka, Ninja, Bushcamp. Who else I know is live? Silent would be live. I need to do a collab with people. Silent, Dustin, flipping Yellow. Y'all would be live, but nah. Y'all had to wait for me. Alright, we back. We back in this mofo. We back in this motherfucker. Back in this motherfucker. Yeah. After 2 weeks, I'm back. Wonder what I should do today, because I don't know. Definitely not doing Deltarune. Definitely not doing Deltarune. Heck no. Not this week. Y'all don't deserve it. Not this week. So, flipping Michael McGonnell updated his dumb game. Yeah. So Michael McGonnell, and we're gonna play it with the controller today, ladies and gentlemen. Michael McGonnell has updated his game for the 3rd time in a row. I'm so proud of this man. I'm so proud of this man. Like, you don't know what kind of man, you don't know what this man has become. Like, seriously. Brother.
To come on in,
just click on your name. We're gonna get rid of this because we're PC players now. No controllers. We're PC players now. Flipping Michael McGonnell updated his game. I love to see it. Michael, I love seeing that. I love seeing that you updated your game, man. I love seeing that you updated your game, man. How to show... Oh, goddammit. Show who's on Twitch stream on broadcast. Goddammit. Hold on, give me a second. I will be right back. All day! Give me a second. I will be right back. After 2 weeks, the king is back in his chair. We can't see him, but the mascot of our lovely channel, Chip, is with us as well. Welcome to Baldi's Basics Plus. Hello, Baldi's Basics players. Thank you for playing version 0.13. I had gum in my mouth, so excuse me, I have to add flavor. This update adds stickers. Stickers can be purchased in Johnny's store. Once you have a few, you can use the new Pack-O-Matic to apply them. Once the stickers are applied, it will activate a unique effect, such as adding additional invisible stuff. Oh! You can apply up to 4 stickers at once. If you have multiple of the same sticker applied, the effect will stack! Normally, applied stickers will only last until you complete a level, but you can upgrade slots with the super glue item to keep stickers for an entire run. Ooh. This is gonna help with the... So what I want to do... Reduce my quality. Yeah, to this. I want it on this. I want to see what it looks like. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, no more pauses. Flipping dumb, stupid, dumb. No more pauses. We're back. Flipping sucks. Oh my gosh. Alright. So what we doing today, we are exploring. We are not going through. We are exploring this update. If we somehow beat it, I'm posting a video. Now, I want no random seed. Bro, look at how this looks, bro. It looks so old. Like Windows XP old. Look at this. Bro, this looks like them horror mods people be making. Like, for real. They don't even give you any stamina anymore. Like, that's just wrong. I already got 3 notebooks. Oh, that's a dead end. I don't want to see a Shrek. Oh my god. Okay. Not running. Okay. So, I like this resolution, but we gotta switch it. I'm sorry. We gotta switch it. It looks good, but we gotta switch it. Oh, I didn't apply it. Yep. Here's Baldi's Basics Plus. Oh. Wait, am I actually playing it or is it not on screen? Oh, it's on screen. Sorry. Hey, sorry if I'm bugging you, but yo, looked at some sick art for streamers. Want to peep it? No, thanks. I'm good. Sorry. Listen, if you're not here to actually, like, watch me do something, like, watch me do my silly antics, then just don't show up.
You found all 4.
I gotta get it. Y'all want to see promotions, but like,
find a way out before I catch you.
You're not teleporting me yet, brother. Like, oh no, I'm gonna make this clear. Like, if you're just here to promote your art, I support you. But then again, like, I may have to ban you because like you're not, like you're. My gosh, I can't really explain this. I do not like it when y'all come in my chat and y'all aren't even there to just like watch. Y'all are just there to promote y'all stuff. I support you and I can go directly to other places, but this ain't the place for that. This ain't the time for that. I will make a dedicated time where promotions are available to use. So this is what's new. I gotta get my soundboard out. Cause that's what I forgot. I forgot my soundboard. That's what I forgot. Girl. Did my keyboard just... TMP. What in the world is going on with my keyboard? Hold on. Yeah, my keyboard is bugging. I want to flip it. I want to run away. I want to fly away. I want to run away. I want to fly away. Alright, let's go. What's up, cut? Whoa! Johnny, you outdid yourself, huh? Stickers. Alright, what is it? Door, map plus, and eyes. Alright, what does it do? Let's see it. Door stop. Most doors will stay open for additional 10 seconds. If applied when winning a level, 1 YTP will each tile discovered on the map. And the NPCs will not see you within your line. Okay, so we're gonna use stealthy. We're gonna use don'ts. We're gonna use that, and we're gonna use exploration. Wait, can you gift?
I'll take care.
Hey, thank you, Johnny. And a ruler. Okay. Thank you so much, Donnie. Did y'all hear that? I actually want to see if y'all heard that. Hold on. Alright, yeah, here. Can you drop your Discord username in the chat? You know what? Fine. Bro, it's literally the same username that's literally on my screen. Oh my gosh. Ugh. It's literally the same username. Let's see what you're doing. Okay. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. What's up? Some sick art for streamers? Unless you got Yoshi art, I don't want to see it. Let's keep going. Alright. So, we got stickers now. Use this on a regular stickers slot to upgrade it to a sticky slit. Use this on a regular sticker slot to upgrade it to a sticky sticker up. Oh my god, y'all better make me say the N word. Oh my god. Use this on a hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm not moving until I finish this. I'm not moving until I finish this. I need my on-screen chat for real. Like, I need my on-screen chat. What's going on? No, like, seriously, what's cool? Okay. Bro, okay. I'm not leaving until I flip and, get this right, because this is ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Alright, let's go. Use this on a regular sticker slot to upgrade to a sticky sticker. Oh my god! Use this on a regular sticker slot to upgrade to a sticky sticker slot. Stickers placed on sticky sticker slots won't be lost when beating a level. Hey, I did it! Alright! Shut up. I did it! No problem, Johnny. Bye. Let's go. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. What does the artist want? What does the artist want? What does the artist want? Add me up. I'm waiting for you there. I don't care. I don't know. I do not have a clue. Oh! So about skateboard content, y'all. I haven't really been like on my grind recently. So y'all haven't been getting anything new. But I don't know what I'm going to do for skateboarding content. Hold on, give me a second. I have not been on my grind recently, and like I can't really think that well. I've been like focused on school like a lot. So skateboarding content, because we hit 250 subs. Yes, we did. Chill out. Yes, we did. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we hit 250. Thank y'all so much. Skateboarding content's coming out probably, I want to say December. Sometime either December or next year, January. That's what I want to say.
Let's keep playing.
The answer to this problem is 4 because I'm a math genius. I'm just smart like that. Let's go. Next. Where the notebooks at? Where the notebooks at? Where they at? Where they at? 8. Where's the 8 at? It's right there. My God. I hate it every time when you know what I hate about Baldi? Like every single time. Okay, what's this one? 7. 6. No. 7. And you get another doorway. Oh, I'm like, oh. I didn't mean to shoot that, bro. My apologies. Alright, 6 plus 3, 9. Where's the 9 at? 9 right here. That's 4. Let's go. We gotta find the flipping 5th, 6th, and 7th notebook. Bro, I swear, if y'all spam 6, 7 in my chat, I'm gonna like go berserk, like on everything. Do not spam 6, 7 in my chat. That meme is dead. Okay, but anyway, oh, notebook right there. The Baldi's right there. I want to answer. Oh wait, that's a good idea. Wait till he comes. Yeah, he's on his way. Yeah, come in. We love you, Baldi, but thanks for that next notebook. Bro, move. Yep, that's what you get. Womp. 9. Where the 9 at? Give me the 9. Thank you. Move. I need to get the bus. I'm not getting the bus past this run. If I win and I don't get the bus pass, I'm crashing. I'll get the bus pass. Why do I keep doing that? Wait, was that it? Oh, it's not it. Okay. I'm in the principal's office. Where's the door at? The door's right there. Okay, Baldi's right there. Move! Okay. Okay, principal's right here. I need to go. I found it! No, 6. I got it.
Congratulations! You found all 7 notebooks. Now all you need
Hey, I got it.
find a way out before I
Chat, I'm not gonna go for it. I'm not gonna go for it. No! What? Can't take this. Baldi, I can't take this no more. I can't take. He's not hitting me with a ruler. I think the ruler is supposed to be like for as a flipping what's it? Like, man, did I lose my stickers? Oh, I didn't lose my stickers. Okay. So some doors will stay open for like 10 seconds. So we know that. What's up, Bob? No. What's up, Baldi? 5. Give me the 5. 5, 6, 9. 6, 9, 4, 2, 0. I'm going for the key. Five. Give me 5. Move. I don't want no safety scissors. I liked the use that safety scissors originally had. So, another B soda. I'll take that. And the answer is 9. I'll take this extra quarter and I'm running with it. No, it's not here. Okay. That had no flipping thing in it. Oh wait.
You're incredible.
No running in the
I wasn't
hall.
running, bro. So that's what you get. You know what? Oh yeah. 7. Ah!
15 seconds.
My God!
Attention for you.
Dude!
Don't make me do this again.
Oh my God, that actually gave me a heart attack. Of course I have 6 out of 7 notebooks. He's gonna be right there. I messed up. Shoot! Oh my God, I bet you the notebook's right there. No, it's not. Holy crap. I'm about to flip and run out of energy soda. I'm about to flip and run out of stamina.
What's the problem?
No!
Everybody, look at the clock. I need to fetch the water.
Okay. Where? Okay, it's
Looks like the lady's leaking again.
7. Get
Watch
out
out for
of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go.
You found all 7 notebooks.
6. No. Send me away.
Right away.
Not closer! Bro! Are you trying to get me killed? God dang! Okay, that's good. Wait! I'm locked! Can I get out? Oh, I can get out. Wait! I got the bus pass! I better win this. If I don't win this, I'm about to crash out. Go. No! The exit's right around this corner. He's right there. I'm scared. He's right there. Bro, if I win... No! Sweetheart! Okay, you're doing good. No! Move! Oh my gosh. Yes, take him away.
Hey, what's this?
There's the first exit. Whirlpool! Yes! Please! No! Oh, that was so good! No! Oh my gosh! Bro, gotta sweep! You gotta be kidding me, bro! Gotta sweep! It's probably moved or deleted. No, it's there. It's just gotta sweep. No. Gotta sweep. No. What the heck, dude? No. Why it gotta sweep, bro? Why did it have to be gotta sweep, bro? Why did it have to be gotta sweep, bro? It didn't have to be him, bro. Why did it have to be him, though? Bro, you was my GOAT! Flip this! You was my GOAT, man. I respected you. You saved me so many times.
You're good.
You saved my ass so many times. One, you saved my ass so many times. And now, you was working with Baldy, bruh. Give me that lock. I don't want the keys no more. I want the lock. What is it? 0? Yeah, it's 0. Cause 0's my hero, not you guys. I hate you. Oh, that's really helpful. 5. 9. I wasn't running. Oh, it was nothing in here. Oh, there's a notebook right there. There's one right there. I need a 6. God, I'm about to die. Oh my God,
Congratulations! You found all 7 notebooks. Now all you need to do is find a way out before I catch you.
Did I actually get it? I got it. We're golden. Golden! Oh! Why did I make a K-pop Demon Hunters reference in the Big 25, bro? Why did I do that in the Big 25? Come on now. Oh, 783. Alright, we're gonna play this one. I'm sorry, Baldy, but I can't go camping with you.
I'm Johnny.
I want to gamble my
Welcome
life
to
away on
store.
stickers. I want the glue stick, but I also want... Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get one sticker.
Thanks. I hated that item anyways.
Matt Plus, are we dead serious? So all my stickers are gone. So I do need that. Go for
I love those.
one of these. Okay. Okay. Okay, stamina. Backpack. Backpack! Yeah, my back is loaded up. What? Nah, I can't say that. That's mean. I can't say that. We get all 3 of our things back.
What? Fine.
Get out. Get out. Backpack! Oh, I need that. We got 6 slots now. 6, 7 slots. Push it up. You saw how Chocos just... I'm not running, bro. You saw how Chocos just spawned there? So we got like 3 of the exits down. Well, 4 now, because we just found that one, so... It's a big loop. Wait. Okay. Hey, get a crazy item, nice. Why does that sound so eerie and mysterious? Oh, nah, bro. I hate you.
Whoa! First try!
Oh, it's one of these.
Those are
Okay.
indisputable.
Okay. I never saw that one. Okay. New notebooks. All the way down here. And then this one. Right here. Baldy broke his ruler. I feel like I'm going backwards. Okay. Okay. So we know this one right here, and this one right here. I should have used the thing, cause I've been there. Oh, and he's right there too. Got the reflex move. God dang it.
Good job! That was fast!
Baldy is
The
right
test
there.
results conclude that you are healthy.
That was a door, wasn't it? I was already there.
You gotta take your cane. I'll take that.
Dang it.
It's mine.
Whoa! going crazy. Surely, my newest invention must have been a grand success.
So I can run. At the corner. Okay, I'm back to normal. Golly, that scared me. Move, bro.
Whoa! First try! The test results are...
Got the 7th one, so that's clear. Yeah, go this way. I'm scared now. I'm scared. 1. 8. We can't find the last one. Ah, Baldy's right there. Crap. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but that's your loss.
Uh-oh. Looks like my fog machine is malfunctioning again. I can barely
It's a
see
dead end.
anything.
What number? 3. Oh my gosh.
Oh, 9. Notebook.
Y'all, we're cooking.
Now all you need to do is
Guys, we're cooking.
find a way out before I catch you.
Oh, I'm in the library. Where is the exit? Okay. Okay, map. Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can just go around. It's not an issue. We just got 3 items. Not an issue. Okay, maybe that's an issue. There's 1. Gosh darn it. Let me win for once, man! Yeah, I hit it. Oh, I did it! Second try! Oh, is that my first try? Is that my first try? First try. Yeah. First try. Yeah. Alright, first try. Let's go. What y'all be saying in chat? Nothing. Oh my gosh. Nothing. Y'all are crazy. Bro, you did not have me. I lied. Alright.
I'm Johnny. Welcome to my store.
Ooh. So I don't want to get the map, but I want to see your most expensive option.
That could come in handy.
Alright, what you got for me? Please be the Baldy room. Please be the Baldy room. Yes!
I love those.
You mother... Yep, you're staying on there. actually. So we can get more YTPs for the last one. What do I need? I want to restock.
Thank you. Now I might not starve.
So only restocks over here. Restock.
Thank you. Now I might not starve.
Okay, this last roll was trash.
Thank
Zesty bar,
you.
zesty
My
bar.
parents would have been so proud that I made a sale. Thank you. Now I might not starve. Try again when you have more you thought points. Looking like you ain't learning.
Alright.
You're my favorite customer. See ya.
Yep, I love you too. Bye. You guys are nuts. Alright. Let's finish this thing, bro. Are y'all ready to see the Baldy Master hit the gritty again? One last time. Y'all ready for the gritty? Hit the gritty master and hit it one more time. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? At this point, I'm just... I'm gonna crash out, y'all. Alright.
What?
Floor 5 better not be maintenance. So we got the no baldy room, wherever that is. I don't see the lab anywhere. Okay, 2, 1, 2. Flipping thing and a notebook. Thank you. I'm dead! Oh my god, I'm dead.
Just reminding you to be at my
I'm
class.
flipping dead.
2 minutes. Check your map to see where my class is.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, bro! How? I need the lab. I need the lab. I need the lab. I'm gonna clip that if I need the lab. There it is! Wait, is that another classroom? Are you dead ass? Oh my gosh, bro. We're going to 2. Hold on, I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that. That was funny. Oof. Alright, come on, let's skip this. That was funny. Oh my gosh. I want to see like what the end of the clip shows. How did I survive that? Like, explain. Yeah, I'm definitely sharing that to YouTube and TikTok. Share it to the YT. Alright, let's go. Pause, because I still hear it. No, don't speak in my presence. Alright, let's go. I wasn't running.
Whoa! That was crazy! Surely, my newest invention must have been a grand success!
I don't like this one. Did I just eat my Zesty bar? Oh my gosh.
1 minute left.
I forgot about Miss Pop! Where's her class? And the Baldy's right there. Crap. Where's her class at? Where's her class at? Where's her class at? Shoot, 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 shoot. Where's her class at? Where's her class at? Where's her class at? Her class is at 3. I need to go. One, 2, 3, 4. Wait, actually, she'll take me to her conference. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Great job! That's right!
All these right. Oh shoot! Yep, I'm dead. Give me that. Mother flip. Yep. I'm gonna go through the vacuum space. I'm at 1. I'm at 1. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. I messed up.
Sweep, sweep, sweep!
0 minutes left.
Sweep, sweep!
Time's up.
Yeah, you better not look at me, bro.
Give me something great.
I like that it does that. The faculty name tag, it just like, She's gonna scare me, bro. Oh, wait, I got that.
See? That wasn't so bad.
And now I can't get this notebook. And Miss Pop is going to kill me. I'm dead, bro.
Does anyone need a checkup?
You better not. We're gonna keep going around in circles. You mother flip. Beans! Beans, I hate you. Beans, I hate you. Beans, I flippin' hate you. Beans, I hate you. I hate you so much. Beans, I hate you. I hate you, Beans. We are not cooking. We are not cooking. Guys, we aren't cooking. We're decently terrible. We're not cooking.
Hi, I'm Johnny. Welcome to my store.
We are not cooking, bro. Reach distance by 100% of the base value.
I'll still be here.
I could have got a grappling hook. That is true. I could have got a grappling hook.
What? Fine.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. God dang it! And his office is right here.
Good job. That was fast. Everything looks good.
Feast your eyes, life is done.
Some motherfucker. Oh, it's one of these. There's the apple. With the apple. Baldy. Ruler. 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 Party hat. Baldy. 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 And then ruler. Flipping thing. Let's go. Two zone. Let's go. Alright, what's in the 2 zone? Oh, my bad. Oh, excuse me. Yep. Continue going. Alright, what's in the 2 zone? So the 2 zone has this one. How many do you 4? 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa! Gravity is going crazy. Surely, my newest invention must have been a grand success.
I wasn't running now. 0. Dun 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 dun.
Da. 15 seconds.
How the
Detention
hell?
for you. Your parents will hear about this one.
Where's the tape measure? Dun 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 dun. Okay, so we're in the 1 zone. Yeah. Bump it.
You there, just reminding you to be at my class for 2 minutes. Check your map.
Imagine that's what all these.
Grown-up spot this.
Just in time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So any others? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Now I need one more. Okay, where do I need to go? Because I know there's one I'm missing. I need to go 3.
Hey everyone, the open house is about to begin.
Oh no.
Things are about to get crowded.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't tell me that's Baldy. What the heck? Dude, what?
You should know this.
The double frown.
Gee, that looks so
6 out of 7 notebooks. Flipping hate everything. Everything. Oh my gosh. 6 out of 7 notebooks. Everything. Oh my gosh. 6 out of 7. Everything. Oh my gosh. I hate this game so much. I need a break. What? Shut your... I've just been so locked in, I haven't used the... Oh, I guess that didn't work then. I guess that didn't work then. Huh? Okay. I'm flipping cooked, bro. Can't do nothing, bro. Bro, I'm cooked. I need to get donations in here stat. I'm so bored. Yes, I'm human, goddamn. Alright, we gotta lock in. Like, seriously, we need to lock in. Oh my gosh. Grrrr.
Hi, I'm Johnny. Welcome to my store.
Wait, can I not? What? Oh, it crashed. Guys, it crashed. Properties, number, okay. Alright, we lock in. I still have not found the safe room yet. My last life is Alright, stop. Let's go! I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! Hey! 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 We're locked in! We locked in! Wait, this doesn't look like I've already got it. It is. This. Door 3. Hey! 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 I don't care. Ruler? Party hat. Party hat. Party hat. Baldy, puppy, ruler, ruler, puppy, puppy, baldy, baldy. We got that, John. Hey, yo, hold up. Where's the next classroom at, huh? Where it at?
You just reminded me to be in my class.
Time to go for. We're cooking. Hey, it's the safe room!
Hey everyone,
we not doing that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We're here!
He right there. Hey, where the next exit at? It's in 3. Get in there! Yes, yes, yes! Yes, 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 yes! Oh my god! Oh my god. Okay. I might have actually sold. Hold on. Ah! No! The placement got me, bro. The placement got me. All right, so overall, this was a good. This is a good flipping baldy. This is a good update. I like this, and I like how it contradicts with the thing. I like it a lot. Michael McGonagall, you did it. Shout out to him, bro. He did it, bro. He did it, bro. Bro, you did it, bro. You did it, bro. You did it, bro. You did it, bro. You have finally, this is an update that everybody is excited for. I love this update. It is so good. I can't even flip. I love this update. I'm so sorry that I have to leave, but I have to leave. My God. I want to come back. See, now you make, see now. See now, what y'all, you know what? I'm so tired of this, bro. Like I'm literally so tired of this. Alright, Miss Man 12, you cook with this update. I can't lie, bro. You cook with this update. Flipping cooked. You cooked. Alright. Next thing we doing. Something that I need to do and I need to get off my chest. It is a game that I've played on this channel. There's something that, no, before I play it, it's something that I really have to show y'all. And I'm very excited about showing y'all. I really just need to show y'all this, please. Like, I really just need to show y'all this. Oh my gosh. I'm literally so excited, bro. How much views did this get? 236? Dang. Bro, I'm so excited, and I mean so excited to tell y'all this, but flipping, god dang. Oh, what's up? Jack Spinnakai, what's up? Y'all, I'm so, alright, y'all. I'm so flipping excited to show y'all this. However, yes, you're Jackson. Yes, we know who you are. You've been a fan favorite. We know who you are. Yes, we know who you are. Okay, I want to show y'all this, bro. 2 years ago, I made this channel, right? If we go to my posts, my embarrassing posts, flipping, nah, stop the music, like right now. We hit 200 2 months ago. We hit 200 2 months ago, right? I hit 150 a few days ago, bro. It's like 4 months ago. I went all the way back. If we just keep going, We hit 100 subs 6 months ago. Achievement after achievement after achievement. Achievement after achievement after achievement after achievement after achievement. And I just want to say, y'all, thank you so much, bro. So we hit 100 6 months ago. We hit flipping. We hit 100 6 months ago. We hit 200 literally 2 months ago. It took us 4 months, man. It took us 4 months. And now we already at 250. Come on now. Thank y'all, man. Man. So you know what? So y'all know what? So you know what? I want to give back. Since I want to give back. I want to recognize some people. I want to recognize some people on my list. First off, we got Aaron DeGram. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey yo. All y'all need to subscribe to this man right here, bro. If y'all do not know who this man is a masterpiece. I swear to God, this man is a masterpiece. Look, hold on.
Here, come here.
No, I would have thought he had a mill. I would have thought $5,000 on it.
All the love's to paint with you.
Look
Today,
look
I got some
Look what this man did for us. Look what this man did for us.
Like this.
Look at what this man did for us.
Particular green.
Next up, we have Hue. I don't know. It's like not enough vowels for me. He uploads like long
That's me,
form
right?
videos, which are usually
Are y'all
just
seeing
gameplay.
this?
It's
Y'all
gameplay
need
that
to
you
go
could talk
subscribe
over
to
almost.
him
Like, I
now.
can put it on. I might even put it in the green screen just to be special and fancy. But I'm
Y'all
just
need
putting
to
it on
go
the screen
subscribe to
while I'm
him
explaining.
now, bro.
It's 219 subs. He's been posting a lot of
This was a
videos. Like he
month ago,
posts
bro.
2 times a day sometimes.
And he's still doing it. Keep an eye on these small content creators part 2. Y'all need to sub up to this man. He about to hit 400, bro. Bro, if it was not for this man, I probably would. Like, this man and me, we had some history, bro. We hit 200 together. He may have more subs than me, but we hit 200 together. I helped him get to 200, bro. I helped him get to 200. I helped him get to 200. But still, shout out to Aaron DeGram. Thank you so much for flipping, getting me some. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say, bro. Thank you so much. Alright. Next on our bucket list, we have flipping, what's his name? Jameer is bugging 9,000! This brother is such a good kid, bro! No. I actually know this guy in real life, bro. He is so cool, he's so quirky, he's so funny, bro. I love this man, he's so cool. Oh my God, bro. I need to stop glazing people, man. I gotta stop glazing people. But yeah, he makes stop motions, he likes Sonic, he likes doing all this weird stuff. He's actually my rival. And so, his new channel, Stay Bugging. If y'all wanna see it, I wanna show y'all. He only has 7 subs, but he got his new series Cuss. So it's kind of like the IU show, but it's not live. Y'all need to go sub to this man immediately. Y'all need to go sub to this man immediately. Y'all better sub to him. Y'all better sub to him. I promise y'all, if y'all don't sub to him, I'm gonna crash out. You about to get copyright striked? I never get copyright striked on this song because flipping what's it? This song has been used on like I never get copyright strikes for this song because it's it's Persona 5. So it's not a song that it has copyright. I'm not really gonna talk about it, but I'm allowed to use the song. All right. Next things next. What is this? Kiko Ramen. Hey, okay. You better, bro. You better subscribe to him. The next person I want to shout out on my lovely is the Island Girl. Let me tell you, man. I know her in real life. No. I know most of these people that I put on subscriber list. I know these people IRL. Like seriously, they are really good people. Well, I promise you, if she does vlogs, she does videos like that. She actually, I'm gonna show you a video, but she actually shout me out too. Like, I'm gonna show you, but she actually shout me out. Where is it? Yeah.
You're gonna be
Not here. Not here. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, snap.
She shout me out, bro. And I got 1.5K views, and she shout me out, bro. So, she shout me out a couple times. But subscribe to the Island Girl. She has 2.1K subs. I don't even think she's in it for the money. She's just in it for the vlogging. So I like it. I like her content. Pretty cool. Y'all need to go subscribe to her now. Do it now! The next thing I want to show y'all. Because I don't want to glaze. Alright, bro. Next things next. Hey, yo, bro, shut up. We don't need you. Next things next. Got my good friend who actually literally Googled. Papa Yosh. He's not really small. Australian YouTuber, not really small. Don't know him in real life, but I've been on his streams a couple times just to support him. Really cool dude. Got some good stuff. What the fuck? Hey yo, what the fuck? Oh my god, bro. I'm about to ban you from chat. I'm banning you from chat. No, I'm serious. I'm banning you from chat. I'm banning you from chat. On everything, I'm banning you from chat. You're done. Yup, you're banned. I'm timing you out, bro. On everything, I'm timing you out, bro. I'm sorry, man. You saying just random stuff about the people that's literally there. I'm sorry, bro. It's not my problem. You forced this against me. I'm sorry, but this is what you done, man. Nah, man. How am I the bad guy? I'm banning you, bro. Like it's raps. How do you warn, timeout, ban, timeout? I'm timing you out. You're in timeout, bro. Now, let me speak! God dang! Let me speak. My God. Most of y'all people in chat, y'all don't even care. Y'all in chat, y'all don't even care. I don't want to see that. Ooh. Yeah, you lucky I timed you out and not banned you, because I was not going to bring you back either. Alright, as I was saying. Papa Yosh, a good YouTuber, Australian YouTuber, W-Mans. Been doing some stuff. Pretty cool channel. He plays Mario Kart, Smash, Dragon Ball, my goats. But still, subscribe to him. He has 3,000 subs with 160 videos on the channel. Y'all need to go sub to him right now. Next thing's next. Next thing's next, bro. Next thing's next. My GOAT, my one and only, my OG. He ain't going. We don't talk about this. My OG, my OG, my OG. Also, no, one of the new people that made it to the list, Silent Yoshi. Now, me and Silent, we got some history for real. We ain't got no history. We ain't got no history. We ain't got no history. My bad. We ain't got no history. But me and Silent, ooh, y'all don't know about no Silent now. Y'all don't know about no Silent now. Y'all don't know about Silent, bro. Y'all do not know. 80 subs with 91 videos on the channel. Y'all go sub up to Silent now. I don't know what I have to say, bro. Like he does Twitch streams. Go support him on Twitch as well. He's also on my watch list down there. I'm gonna share my watch list with y'all too. But this man recently did a stream, and I like that he did that. Pretty cool, pretty good. But this man, he plays Smash Ultimate. Like, hold on, we're gonna pull up one of his clips now.
Already on, dog. My computer might die, guys.
Oh, look at this man, pure Yoshi player. Dang!
Spike first.
So he does Smash Ultimate. He does sometimes he does other games, but he mainly does Smash. And because he's black, okay, and because he's black. Okay, next. My GOAT. The one and only. The one that's been there from like the very, very beginning, bro. The very beginning. With 779 subs. Eduardo, my GOAT. My flipping GOAT. My flipping gosh darn diddly GOAT. Y'all don't know what this man has done, bro. Y'all don't know what this man done, bro. Y'all don't know what this man has done, bro. Y'all don't know what this man has done, bro. I'm gonna show y'all his post, bro. I'm gonna show you what he's done, bro. But look at this. Bro is literally my GOAT. Like, seriously. He's been here since before I hit 100 subs, I think. But yeah. I'm gonna show you. I gotta find it for real, cause it's been a while. But yeah, I can't really find it. But this man has been a GOAT since, bro. I cannot believe that I'm shouting this man out. He has 779 subs, 408 videos. He matching me, bro. He's matching my energy. And I like this. Yo, go shout out to Eduardo Ferreira, Brazil. Go shout out to Ed's Wacky Shop. Go shout out to him right now, bro. Y'all need to, or else I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop making videos forever. Alright. Now, for the one thing that I really want to put out there really quickly, something that I really want to put out there real fast before I go to the next game. Something I want to put out there before the next game. I want to show y'all who y'all need to be watching if I'm not here on Twitch. I'm gonna show y'all too, but I want y'all. I'm gonna bring y'all to the channel. Welcome to the IQ channel, y'all. Welcome to the IQ channel. But we got Cass. Cass here. Cass is good. Cass is a good person. I like him. He has 9 followers. 9 followers on his Twitch channel. He does Pokemon cards. He does Pokemon trading card game. But that's all I know of as of now. I don't really know anything else. But as of now, that's it. We got Waka Waka Moon, 219,000 followers. My GOAT, my king, Waka Waka Moon V2. Look at this man. Look at this man. Look at this man, bro. I'm gonna show you.
I can fall asleep at any time. So I need the communication going, because if I'm not getting communicated with, I will just sleep.
This is my GOAT, bro. This is my GOAT. Waka Waka Movie 2. Next, Silent. We just talked about him. 252 followers. He is on point with my sub count. He's on point with my sub count for real. I need to put more emails in chat. I need to get more emails in there. But yeah, 252 followers. Y'all go watch him. Next, I do not think he's on that much, but he's on Yellow Yoshi. Yellow Yoshi is a good friend of mine. I have not seen this man in a minute, a very long minute, but he does good stuff. He's a good person. I like him. He's cool. Y'all need to go subscribe to him. Next. Roxy. Y'all need to go sub to Roxy right now. I haven't seen him live yet, but if he, God, I'm stuttering. If he ever goes live, y'all need to watch him. Pretty cool dude. And that's it. Next, we got flipping 7th, Devin. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. I got this man to watch Corey Kenshin. I'm about to show you. I got this man to watch Corey Kenshin videos.
It's U4 and then JavaScript yet again. And I think Tori.
Yeah, I got this man to watch Corey Kenshin. Hold on.
That's how you can create spaces between groups. Ba 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 ba. One over here.
I got this man to watch Corey Kenshin, bro. I was so.
Take that. Take that. We up in here. Open up. This game.
I feel like.
Oh, it's a boss.
I got this man to watch Corey Kenshin. Really cool dude. He got 1.2K followers. Y'all need to go sub to the channel. And last but not least, if y'all want to make,
let me get it up.
We got another case if you want.
If y'all want to make my list,
apparently
if y'all really want to make my list, y'all need to go and y'all need to y'all can literally ask if y'all want to make my list. Ask if y'all want mute. Y'all can ask if y'all want to make my list. If y'all want to make my list. Last but not least, I can't pronounce it. Lurio the dragon. 259 followers. He's beating me by like 2. He's beating me like by 2 subscribers. Not on YouTube. Pretty chill dude. He does VTuber stuff. Listen, I don't care what you do as long as you're not racist, as long as you're not sexist. I don't care. Go be a furry or something. I don't care. Like I accept everyone. Like you're good. As long as you're not racist, I accept all. So go ahead, man. But if you're mean, or if you're just like racist, don't come on my stream, bro. We already had that problem once. So shout out to Lurio. I can't pronounce his name, bro. So shout. Lurio, yes, Lurio the dragon. Shout out to him, and yeah. Let's get this party started, man. I am ready to get this party started. We're going to go back to it. I'm gonna go back to it, but it's not gonna be like a lot. We're gonna go and we're gonna play this game called Super Mario 64. I haven't been on this game in so long, man. But y'all remember what happened last time. It was on Super Mario 64, man. Super Mario 64. Yup. Super Mario 64. Make his put his head down. Oh my god. Get his ear. Grab his ear. Oh my god. It's highly. Let's go.
Okie dokie.
Woo!
Okay, then I'll play like this. I think I might have to quit because I messed it up. Yeah, I messed it up. Hold on. Yeah, I messed it up. There we go. Yeah, I messed it up. We gotta close it. Yeah, I fucking messed it up. Alright, let's go. We're not using that combo though. Oh, because I used the controller. That's why, because I used the controller. Alright, we're going to use the controller. Alright, I'm getting my controller. Yep, we ready? Alright, I got my controller. Welcome back to Mario 64, everyone. So last time on Mario 64, we completed Bob-omb Battlefield and a bit of Worm's Fortress. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to finish Worm's Fortress. That's what we're gonna do. Let's go.
Hegel.
No. Crap. Oh. I need to wake you up, cuz. Yeah, you get that one.
Here we go!
Yeah, I'll keep going. No, I missed it. Okay, it's fine. I overshot.
Here we go!
Alright, let's see how something goes. No, you didn't! Ooh. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Got it. Yep, that's the start now. Got it. Yes, sir.
Here we go!
Am I gonna get 3 in 1? Three in 1. Did I get all 6? Oh, I got all of them. Crazy work. Alright, now we're gonna fight back. So now we're gonna do Cuckoo Mountain and oh shoot, I should put in the thing, hold on. put the thing on. It should have already been 10 minutes. You can chat now. But yeah. Don't say stuff like that in my chat, bro. You're wrong. I'm bored. I got nothing to do. Alright. Let's get back to action. Oh, wait, my controller's down. You know what we might do? Streets of Rage 4. I might do Streets of Rage 4, right?
Go. Gang throw. Okay, so I guess this one. The middle chest is always last. Oh, I'm so glad I got that because I was
Here we go! Hegel!
I know this one. Yes, I got it! Woo! Now we got something. Yay! Here we go! Let's go. All right. came over right there. That's the $100 coin.
Here we go!
There's another one.
Here we go!
We're just getting started, man. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I can find the Yup, let's go. Yup.
Here we go!
Now we can beat Bowser. We got all but one. So now we can beat Bowser. Let's go, boys! Woo! Y'all about to see some true speed. I'm about to die on the first try. Actually, know what? Woo! Y'all saw that? I must go home. Sorry, my bad. I never get shot. Y'all remember Mario Combat? I just want y'all to remember that. I just backflipped into the pipe. Yes, sir. Yeah! I got lucky with that. I'm clipping that. Let's go. I'm clipping that. Woo! Woohoo! I love a Super Mario 64. We're gonna clip it. Clip, clip, snippy, snip. Snippy, clip, snip, snip. Alright. Let's get back to the action, shall we? Let's go. I think I got it fixed for this controller situation, so I can also use my Alright, hold on. I'll be back. This is a good stream. All right, we did it. I got the fix. See if it works. It works. Okay. Well, we got the key. So I'm gonna go to Hazy Maze Cave. Who's ready? I'm gonna go to Hazy Maze Cave real quick. Look, you need 30. Right. We can catch Mips, so that's 1 star down.
Here we go!
Let's go.
Let's go!
Where's Dory at? There's Dory. Hello, Dory.
Here we go! Yahoo!
ya.
Alright, I got what I needed. Yes, sir. Let's go. Dire Dogs. Oh no, Jolly Roger Bay. Jolly Roger Bay. I always call this one Dire Dogs, but
Peggle.
Jolly Roger Bay. Let's go.
Here we go!
No, you did. Oh my god. Well, now I gotta redo it.
Here we go!
No! Oh my gosh.
Here we go!
Got it.
Here we go!
That's it. Let's go. Next we have oh, this one. All right. We need 2 more stars in order to face Bowser again.
Here we go!
Let's go. Yeah, we ain't doing that. Clip that, because that was funny. We're not doing that. I should check to see if I actually got like the right clip. Alright, we're doing it. Let's go. We got the clip. Alright, back to Mario 64. Let's go. We gonna redo that. What's up, bro? Hey, I'll come back to you later, okay?
Yeah.
Will it bring us back up though? It sure will. One down. That's 30. We can fight Bowser.
Here we go!
No! And I had all 8. Oh my god. Alright, we can go fight Bowser now. A lot of progress done here. Board Bowser's sub.
Hey, go!
Hey, now
Here
sub
we
go.
go!
Wow, sub Bowser. I don't even know darn platform. That was a good run. That was a good run. Good run. I'm just locked in, like, seriously. I'm just locked in. So if I'm not talking, I'm That's 1 star. 32. Okay, I saved myself there. Alright, and after this, we'll push 2, 3, 4. I'm doing this for my eyes. Hey! Nice! W! Yeah! Clipping that. We did it, man. We did it. Alright, that's enough for Super Mario 64. That's enough for Super Mario 64. Now for my all-time favorite game, bro. My all-time favorite game. My all-time favorite game. My favorite game of the year. All-time, 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 all-time. Oh my gosh. All the time. The one game I won. The one game where everything depends on a fist and a flame. My GOAT game, bro. Streets of Rage 4. Oh my gosh. Like I said. Where are y'all going? Due to unforeseen circumstances of me taking my cousin home, I have to go. Oh wait, it's not even showing. Due to unforeseen circumstances of me having to go home, I gotta go home. Not going home, but like I gotta take my cousin home. So I'll be right back. Wait there. And that's it. Yeah.
erode and destroy hearts of good souls in the dark. Filled with dismay, laid along and fake too much, all the way through till the crumble. It too shattered down they go. Don't let 'em do it like that. You must know that I all things that made you weak. So wake up from no sleep. Don't refuse to be free. Let go. Doubt this reason to break up is in your mind. Take my hand, join the team. Gonna let the deadly
Alright, give me a second, I'll be right back.
It's time to rise egocentric. They made us believe so things were playing their favors. Lost and broken, afraid of changing the way of life. Amidst the blood you grew one stumble to their knees and down they go.
Actually, you know what I'll do? What I'll do is, I'm gonna end stream, and I'm gonna come back, and then we're gonna play Street Fighter 4.